Hi, my name is Kyle Schroeder, and I'm going to be performing my hit song Fresh Start later in the show. But right now, I'm going places with RICC ROLLINS.
This is Going Places. Interesting people doing interesting things in interesting places. And we want you to come along. Welcome to this edition of Going Places. I hope your morning's amazing. Here's what's coming up on today's show. Dr. Tracy's in the house, so we're going to talk with her about the matters of the heart and health. Karima takes us on her Alaskan adventure. And we continue our conversation with Gerald Anderson, the Renaissance man. We've got the GOAT, Kyle Schroeder, in, and he's not only going to talk with us about his upcoming event, he's also going to play for us. All of this and more on this edition of Going Places, starting, you guessed it, right now. The doc is in. As promised, we are now spending some time every opportunity that it presents with Dr. Tracy. Thank you for being with us, Dr. Tracy.
Thank you so much for having me back.
Okay, so we're going to call this segment Wellness Check with Dr. Tracy. And so let's talk about what we're going to be talking about in the coming weeks.
So, this time of year is very important that we talk about ourselves and look inward. So, that is focusing on your mind, your body, and your soul. So, we have just finished the October with breast cancer awareness, and November is Diabetes Awareness Month. So, we're going to be focusing on all the things that you need to do in order to stay healthy. And some people say health is the new wealth. So, we're going to be really focusing on what we need to do to keep our minds, bodies, and soul healthy.
Well, I love that. And one of the things that we did talk about is as we go into the holidays, that there are folks who are starting to get a little depressed because loved ones are gone or they're not able to travel to spend time with their families. And we need to make sure that they understand that they're their first priority, as you said. Wouldn't you agree?
Most definitely. This is something that, I am traveling now. And when you're going on the plane, they say first, if you're, put your oxygen mask on first before helping others. And
That's right.
so every day we have to focus on putting our oxygen on first. So making yourself a priority, spending time with yourself, whether it is meditating, um, we need to be able to pour back into ourselves, especially during this upcoming holiday season.
And I think you're right. So if we talk, let's check our boxes. That's our mind. Okay, so let's talk about the body. We know that the insurances are getting ready. We've gotten all those phone calls about, make sure that you
Yes,
have
it's open enrollment.
open
Yes, yes,
enrollment.
yes.
So let's talk about that. Should people, because there's somebody that's going to say, well, I guess I have to wait until the beginning of the year, because there are a lot of plans that will tell you that, you have a certain month that you'll do your wellness check. I'm like, is that wise, or should they, if they're feeling something, or what do you think here, Doc?
So typically during your annual visit, it's a comprehensive visit. So from head to toe, really going through everything, whether making sure you're up to date on your vaccinations, up to date on your cancer screenings, but it's also a time to really ask your healthcare provider if there's something going on to help them explain it to you. So utilize that time that you have with your healthcare provider
Yeah.
to go through all of the benefits that you have. If you have, you know, dental coverage, making sure you're going to the dentist and getting the cleanings that are necessary. If you're of the age needing to check your prostate or doing your mammogram and getting all of those things done, it's really important for you to advocate for yourself at every visit that you see your healthcare provider.
Two things that you said. One, I want to circle back because most people don't understand how important dental health is. Let's talk about that real quick, and then I want to talk about self-advocacy.
Yes, having good oral hygiene is very important for kids all the way through adults. When you
Exactly.
don't have, yes, when you don't have good oral hygiene, you have inflammation in your gums that causes you to have inflammation all throughout your body because it could make your diabetes worse. It can make your heart condition worse. And
Mm-hmm.
as a child, it can also make your asthma worse. So it's
Wow.
very important. Yes, it's very important that we start at the and actually for kids at the age of 1. Before they get their first tooth,
Really?
they should go. Yes, they should
Wow.
go to see
Okay.
the doctor. They should go see the dentist because it's actually taking the time to clean the gums, and it's just a little thing you put on just to clean the gums, and it gets the
Wow.
kid. Yes, it gets the kids to not fear the dentist. Very, very few
True.
people really understand the importance of going to the dentist regularly, and that can prevent childhood cavities. And they could, we only get one set of teeth. So we
True.
have to really protect them. We got to really protect them.
That's I'm really I'm sitting here thinking about that. I never thought about doing it that young. We've only got about a minute left, so what I want to do is the next time you're back, we'll continue our conversation about I almost said child advocacy. That's important too, but self advocacy. So let's talk about that real quick and tell them what they can expect the next time we're together.
For the next time, we'll go into a lot more detail on some of the questions you can ask your healthcare provider and some of the
Love it.
things that you should be making sure you have done, and at what age you should start doing certain screenings for yourself.
Okay. Well, the doctor's in, and she'll be back in periodically, at least twice a month. With Dr. Tracy, we thank you for taking time from your busy schedule and joining us.
Pirates love the booty. Yeah.
Love is in the air
I did. I brought my mom.
Well, mom waited in the car, and I didn't know this.
on Love in America, only on RHS TV.
Welcome back to this edition of Going Places. You know her. I don't need to introduce her, but I will. This is Karima Henry. You know her as our craft maven because she's always crafting a fun life with us. But today I thought it would be great to talk about where she's been because she's been a little MIA lately, and that's because she's been on a world tour almost. Welcome to Going Places, my dear.
Hey Rick, thanks for having me.
Okay, so let's just jump in. Where did you go? Because you were gone for a minute.
Yes, we went on a trip to Alaska. We did the whole Alaskan cruise. Yes.
The whole
So
family, not just you and the hubby, all four of y'all.
no, the all four plus my in-laws.
Oh my
It's the
God.
whole family. It was an amazing family vacation. So yeah, we
Wow.
had a great time.
Okay, but I got one question. Where was my
Okay.
invite? I didn't get no invitation. The show is called Going Places. I should have been going.
Okay, we'll squeeze you in next time.
Okay. I just need to be in somebody's luggage. I think I can fit. I'm ambidextrous. But so you
Look, I
went to
carry
Alaska.
big suitcases. You can fit.
Okay. So you went to Alaska.
Yes. So our first stop was at Sitka, and then we went to Juneau, Alaska.
Okay. So let's talk about the first stop.
Okay, Sitka. Oh my gosh, we had so much. I feel like that was our favorite stop. Is a walkable area. You can also take a tour bus. There were some there that range from 25 up to 50. So there's something in everyone's price range, but it's definitely a walkable port when you get off the cruise ship. So.
Okay, well, my first question. How did the boys like it?
They loved it. The only thing they were not feeling was the rain. It did. I'm like, dude, you guys are from Florida. You should be used to the rain. It wasn't as cold as we thought it would be, but it did drizzle a little bit throughout the day. But we're there, once in a lifetime trip. We had our raincoats. We were not letting the rain mess up our good time.
Okay. And so you said from there you went to, what was the next place? So Sitka was first,
Juneau.
Juneau was second. Okay. I said
So
I'm listening.
in between there, we went by like some glaciers, and so we
Wow.
got to look at that. So that was beautiful. So most of the rooms on the Alaskan cruise ship are balcony. There's a few that's in like inside the cabin, um, but it was an amazing view. You'll see it in the video. the glaciers that we got to see. Because our ship was a little on the larger side, we didn't get to go as close as, say, a smaller ship. So if you want to get a little closer to the glaciers, I definitely recommend going on a smaller cruise ship.
So, what was your favorite memory of the entire trip?
Watching my son perform with some of the natives, they they included him in a dance and a part of the play. So that was so nice to see him come out of his shell and participate in such a cultural experience. So you'll definitely get to see that as well.
Okay. And so, if we were to say, well, I always ask this question of anybody, would you go back again?
Oh, of course. We would definitely go back, and I say I want to go on a smaller ship and try different ports, but we also want to go back when you can see, what are those lights? The Northern
The
Lights.
Northern Lights, yeah. Oh, wow.
Yes,
Okay.
so we want to go back around that time of the year.
Okay, so if somebody's saying, "Oh, I want to do this now," because you have made them want to do it, made me want to do it, what would be the one piece of advice you would give them as they prepare to go?
Pack accordingly. Um, we overpacked because we thought it was going to be super cold. But I definitely suggest checking what time of the year you want to go. If you want to go around the summer, you can pack light, just waterproof clothing, jeans, and you'll be good to go. If you go closer, I guess, to the winter time, a lot of things may be closed or not in season. So you have to be mindful of when you're going to Alaska.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm glad you're back. And of course, we love the
Thank
crafts, but
you.
I like this side as well, that we get to travel with you. I know that you're going to be telling us in
Yes,
the upcoming weeks, we're going to go back and visit your Seattle trip when we saw when you went to
of
the zoo.
course.
But I want to see
Yeah.
more of that trip as well, because you know, anything my boys are doing, I want to see. Thank you for being with us. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Okay, no problem. Thanks again, Karima. When we come back, Gerald Anderson continues a conversation that I think you're going to find quite interesting right after this.
None of us has ever gotten anywhere without help.
Introducing the Nonprofit Collective.
There'll be nearly 5 million pounds of food distributed in Tampa Bay.
The Nonprofit Collective is a place for our community to come together.
We serve veterans and their families.
Help at your fingertips, where community heroes reach out to make a difference,
Who comes into this market? Our friends and neighbors.
and where those who need help find help. The Nonprofit Collective, only on RHS TV.
My friend, the Renaissance man himself, Joel C. Anderson Jr., Senior, excuse me, because I want to talk about Junior, so it's in the back of my mind. Senior's with us, and we're talking about his book, his third book of the 27 books that he's written, Standing Firm. When it went from being the novel that it was to someone coming and saying, "We think this should be a movie." Tell us about that.
Well, the we think was me.
Oh, okay.
So I did, I tend to
Come on, Judy, admit that.
I tend to do a lot of things myself,
Come on, see, but
and
that's where I really want to go without asking that. So
right,
I hear somebody say, you don't wait for people to tell you it's okay.
right,
Because
yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about it. So when you decided, after seeing the impact that this book had made on the tour with the women who had lived through this, but were so proud to have a voice come from someone who they would normally think was the abuser, but they saw that he was a savior and an ally at the same time. And when I say savior, because I know in the book there were people that were reading that book. I know you got these kind of comments from people and letters from people or emails from people that said, "You gave me the strength to live."
Mhm. Well, I got a lot of stories, a lot of inbox messages, and people commenting, and people telling me their story that I didn't even realize had been a survivor. Because you see them now after all of the years of going through it, but then they profess their stories to me, and so I mean I got a lot of that, in doing that whole tour, and I just felt like this was the one that needed to be a movie. So people could see it, and so we started with the script. We wrote the script and took,
Now, had you written a screenplay before?
had not written one before. Nope.
See, you my hero, because that's it. You just say, I'm gonna do it, and you learn how to do it. You
It's
figure it out.
technology. It's technology.
That's it.
All the if you search the internet, there are these scripts for the popular movies are out there. So all you do is go and look at them and see what they did in their scripts. If you want, I think the one that I looked at was Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man movie. I looked at the script, and of course I had watched the movie, so I just see how they wrote the script and compared the script how they wrote it to what I saw on the screen. And so I said, well, I could do that, So, I already knew what the book was about and how the book flowed. So I didn't, I sat down. I actually partnered with a friend of mine, Renata Smith, and we wrote the script together. She's like young, like 20 years younger than me. So her voice was important to in writing that script and the lines and stuff, because you wanted that younger voice in there, not my older voice. So together we wrote the script.
Us old again.
Huh?
We were seasoned, sir.
Seasoned voice.
But that was important. But you know what? That was wisdom on your part, because oftentimes we, as we season, we get settled, and sometimes we're stubborn. It's got to be my way. I think it was very what's the word I want to use? I think intuitive to say, let me bring a female voice and a younger voice who will help add the seasoning to our season. So yeah, I think that was a good thing. So let's continue. So this is the question that's been running in my mind, because every time you mention me, where can they find the movie?
The movie's on YouTube, and it has almost 700,000 views right now. So we filmed it. We filmed it in 2016. So then we kind of took a while before we got decided where I was going to put it and all. So I ended up putting it on YouTube in late 2016, and in 2017. It just started blowing up. November 2016 was when it was filmed, and then we eventually put it on YouTube. In the first few months, it wasn't really doing that great. Then all of a sudden, it just blew up, and views were coming and just flowing and flowing and flowing. And now it's like I said, it's almost up to 700,000 views of that movie. So. Yeah, I was very happy to get that out there, and a lot of the comments, if you read them, people are basically telling parts of their story, and how things can go, because you see people and you wonder how they get into a domestic violence situation. Well, and then in the main character's story here, she wanted a dream, she wanted to be a singer, and she was willing to overlook the red flags to get there.
It's amazing how sometimes we'll turn a blind eye,
right,
and end up with a black eye.
Yeah, exactly.
So that is that. Now, I think that is just really an important, what you just said, that we're willing to ignore because we want something so bad.
Right.
We want somebody so bad.
Right.
We think we can change it.
Yeah.
That's the subject, not the subjective. That's the figurative. I ain't sitting here talking. We not sitting here going, it was us. Okay, so,
right.
So the movie is now at about 700,000 hits. What views? What do you want? Is it going to stay on YouTube? Or are you going to option it? What are you going to do?
No, it'll stay. It's going to stay on YouTube. So I'm content with leaving it there. So many people have been exposed to it, and they benefited from it. So, I let it stay there and let people continue to watch it. So.
Sunburst Inn, your perfect beachfront getaway. Escape to the only private beachfront hotel in Indian Shores, featuring 12 uniquely decorated guest rooms. Our newly renovated tropical paradise is a chic-y, beachy, boutique-y destination, perfect for the entire family, with plenty to do, including water activities, bikes, grilling, and more. Bring your furry friends too. Make memories at Sunburst Inn. Book your unforgettable beachfront getaway today.
Kyle Schroeder, you are one of the baddest musicians I know. And so when I knew that we had an opportunity to have you on the show, I was like, it must happen. I thank you for being on Going Places this morning. Talk about somebody going places. This dude right here is going places.
Oh, thank you so much, Rick. Man, so good to be here with you, and I'm so happy we get to talk today. This is a treat.
Same here, same here. So tonight you have an event that if folks are living, even if they're on oxygen, they need to find their way to hear you tonight because it is going to be one of the most long-awaited concerts and collaborations in a long time, correct?
That is for sure. It's going to be amazing. We're going to be here at the Palladium Theater in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Great venue.
And it's a great venue. And we're going to be down in the side door, which is like a jazz club style.
Ooh.
And it's going to be featuring my favorite saxophone player in the world, who I invited down from New York, and he said yes, and he's coming down here to perform with me. His name's Andy Snitzer. He's a Grammy Award winner. He's been on tour with Paul Simon for over 20 years, the Rolling Stones.
Wow.
And it's going to be an electric show full of saxophone, all right?
So it's going to be, it's the GOAT meeting the GOAT rising, okay? So that's what this is, okay? Because, I mean, if you have not, look, you have to hear Kyle to understand what I'm talking about. But this boy makes that sax talk, beg, plead, cry, yell, shout. He does it all. So let's talk about this real quick. Little Kyle, when did you realize that this was your instrument of choice?
Well, I grew up, I played guitar in elementary school. I taught myself how to play.
Wow.
Then I went on to take on the oboe during my middle school days. And then when I was about 14, 15 years old, I saw a saxophone player that I know, Eric Darius.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I saw him perform at the Tampa Bay Black Heritage Festival on the year of 2014. And that night, I told my Mom, I need to buy a saxophone. I want to be a saxophone player, and I want to do what he just did.
Does Eric know this story? Has he heard this story?
Oh, he knows it.
Okay.
He knows it. And I was just performing with him this past weekend at the Daytona Florida Smooth Jazz Weekend. We performed together, which was so cool. So being able to be up there with one of my other idols and the guy who really kicked it off for me was so special.
That talk about a full circle moment. That really is.
It was.
So Kyle, I know a lot of saxophonists. I mean, I got a chance to interview Grover Washington Jr. before he passed, and he was just, I mean, I tried to get him to write my theme song, but he wouldn't do that, but he did play Happy Birthday for me, but because it was on my birthday. But
that's amazing.
Where does this passion come from? I know you know Adrian Judge, and Adrian, we call him Big Saxy, and Arlene calls you her other sax affair. So where does this come from?
That's awesome. Well, man, I don't know. Ever since I heard that instrument, and I've just been drawn to. Yeah, it called me. It's like it spoke to my soul, and as the farther I got along to learning about the instrument, about people like Grover, who really influenced this and changed the game, for the saxophone. It just drew me closer. I mean, I had so many different phases, from Eric Darius to David Sanborn to Sonny Rollins.
Love David Sanborn.
Grover Washington Jr. I really did a deep dive into saxophone my later years of high school and in my college days, and that's really something that has ingrained itself into my own approach to the instrument, and also gives me that foundation of knowledge and history to build off of and create something new at the same time. So
I'm going to tell you, dude, you got to come back. This was far too short.
Yes.
But I definitely want you back. But let's tell the people how they can see you tonight.
Yes. So I hope you guys are going to be there tonight. The Palladium side door. What you can do is go to mypalladium.org or KyleSchroedermusic.com to find the link for tickets. Also, feel free to give them a call, since it's the day of the show. Feel free to give them the call at their box office.
Tell them Kyle sent you.
And tell them Kyle sent you and Rick sent you. And, it's going to be a great show. So, I hope everybody can make it. before it sells out, and we're going to throw down. It's going to be one of the biggest saxophone nights for Tampa Bay. So.
Let me tell you, it's going to be heaven on earth. If you miss it, it'll be like missing Jesus. Okay, so Kyle, I thank you for joining us. More Going Places when we come back right after this.
RHS TV, delivering stories of change, hope, and positivity. RHS TV, connecting Tampa Bay.
Almost went on a date with someone who was possibly a murderer.
Oh my God!
Dating hazards and mishaps.
I want just a text back.
No question, no doubt about it. It's a 5.
Check out Dating in America on RHS TV.
Sunburst Inn, your perfect beachfront getaway. Escape to the only private beachfront hotel in Indian Shores, featuring 12 uniquely decorated guest rooms. Our newly renovated tropical paradise is a chic-y, beachy, boutique-y destination, perfect for the entire family, with plenty to do, including water activities, bikes, grilling, and more. Bring your furry friends too. Make memories at Sunburst Inn. Book your unforgettable beachfront getaway today.
Have you been interesting places or met some interesting people? I'd love to hear about it. We're doing a new segment called Wish You Were Here. All I need you to do is send me 5 images to the address on the screen, and in the soon coming day, we could be talking to you right here in the studio. Well, I hope you enjoyed this edition of Going Places. Be back with us again next week as we talk to more interesting people, doing interesting things in interesting places. Until then, be blessed on your journey. For everyone here at Going Places, take care.